making it 11-2 is not going to make it much worse. But against eSuba, if instead of getting 1-0, you're going to get 1-1, it doesn't really give you much. And eSuba, they've shown this far that they know how to use their resources, so it's even going to be better for them instead.
So what might be the weak point? You said instinct, they have to stand firm, they have to focus on the bot lane and on their jungler especially to have a good game and just get their stuff going and not be out of the position. But what is the weak spot that you would be looking for if you are taking a look at eSuba here?
It's hard to say. It's hard to notice actually any weak spots. As I mentioned earlier, like the bottom lane dying a little bit too much, but it's more of a matter of not paying so much attention to all the moves that they make right there. T, I think he had 3 or 4 deaths at the end of their match, of their first match of the day. But then when they played against Instinct, there were no problems. That's exactly the same as with Digital Paradox. Now, when they faced off in the losers match, their bottom lane did quite fine. But in the first match of the day, their bottom lane was actually a little bit of a problem. So it's not a matter of them being bad. It's just a matter of, in Digital Paradox's case, that against a very strong enemy, something might have gone wrong, and yeah, it's just all collapsed. While for eSuba, when they're playing against a weaker enemy, these guys actually just want to have fun, especially noticing that right after the game, the players of eSuba were just hopping into the chat and just laughing at each other. So I kind of feel like they felt a little bit goofy during that game and didn't care about their KDA.
Yeah, that sounds definitely like a good plan here.
So yeah, definitely have a little bit of fun for eSuba is also valuable. When they're playing in a tournament like this, just fighting to qualify, to fly over to Hamburg, to get a shot at some good prize money, especially if Alzec Status realizes that eSuba is the best Czech team, and Alzec Status this far is the only other qualified team. So eSuba are like probably thinking, all right, we're going to go to that LAN, and at least we're probably going to get some easy money because we're confident that they can beat Ecstatis. So yeah, these guys are having fun. They're doing some good, they're getting some good international experience, probably aiming at some LAN experience, which is very unique, and also getting some prize money and getting to know the world a little bit, just going to Germany. So that's nice for them. Feels really, really good that they get a chance like this to show off their skills.
You're talking about it, all those LAN experience and meeting your teammates in person. That's very important for team synergy and for the chemistry to work between all those people, because I experience it myself every time I meet up with my teammates and with other guys I know all around the esports business. It's just way better if you see each other at maybe a Gamescom or a gaming event or a DreamHack, whatever it is. Once you see each other, you have those good conversations about projects you might plan out together or something like that. So also for teams, just being able to see each other, to maybe not only talk about the game, but just to talk to each other, maybe drink a beer or two together and just get to know each other. That also helps in the game, because you might know something more about the people you're playing with, and maybe if they're likely to take more risks or if they're just likely to stay back, and that just helps out. So ladies and gentlemen, get ready for our final group stage game. Please grab yourself something to eat and drink. And then once you come back, I think, yeah, we should. Yeah. Sorry,
when you guys
go on.
back, should be starting with the picks and bans. I'm quite sure that's what Marvin wanted to say. But in terms of eSuba, actually, yeah, what you say is perfectly true. But maybe for some different teams, maybe for some different LAN situations, actually. But right here, I think that eSuba already know each other very well in real life. At the level these guys are, Looking at the tournaments that these guys played in, I'm quite positive that they had some gaming house experience and stuff like that. So I'm quite sure they already know each other and they do get to see each other pretty often. So yeah, but for many other teams, this could be a perfect opportunity for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so just waiting for the picks and bans of the last game for today, which is we should actually communicate here. So Group A actually closed out with Alpha Ecstatis taking it all home. Right here in Group B, we do expect eSuba to take it, but finally we do get to find out. And we've already said during the first match at around 1600 that eSuba are looking really strong and they should be taking the first place in the group, or at least going into the finals. And there we go. We're at that point, 6 hours later. Here is eSuba facing off against Instinct. So, yeah, we know that we're going to have to wait a couple more minutes before we get into the picks and bans, but it doesn't matter. What matters the most right here is the game. If Instinct could actually come up with a good enough plan for what's about to come, I think they do have the wits to figure it out. Especially, I mean, you are a team that goes for a Zion Rakan duo bot lane, who goes for a Lucian in the mid lane, who sometimes picks a Syndra in the bottom lane. You do have to be extremely smart to be able to play these arrangements, so to speak. So for them to figure out how eSuba plays and how to correct their mistakes, I think it's not going to be so hard.
Yeah, sorry guys, you might see the little box that says we have some connection issues here because I'm not getting the game feed and all the stream really in from ELC, so slight technical difficulties.
Oh, I see. So, all right. For me, everything is fine as far as I know. So, hopefully, it remains this way. And, wow. Okay, never mind. I saw just someone trying to bet 4,500. That would be quite big.
Oh, wow.
But no, that didn't happen. So, yeah, just can't wait to see the game. And I still see that some people are rooting for Instinct right here. I'll be alongside with them because I like what Instinct are doing this far in the group. Although I still feel that probably it's going to be eSuba who takes this match. My heart is with Instinct, so let's just see how it goes. Still, I do expect a Zaya ban right there and probably a LeBlanc ban from eSuba. Then the third one, possibly it's going to be Lulu. And that already is going to break up that Varus Lulu comp, so it's going to be tough. But then you still give them the Lucian mid. But as you saw in the previous match, eSuba didn't really have problems with that Lucian in the middle, so it's going to be fine for them, I guess. So that's my shot. Zaya, Lulu, and LeBlanc ban from eSuba. We'll see if I'm actually right or if I'm completely wrong and stupid. Because they might also just not care for this match. What goes into the hands of Instinct, they might want to prove before they qualify to the LAN finals that they are the strongest and nobody's going to go up against them. All right. So we will be revisiting Marvin in just a moment as he's trying to figure out the issues with his camera right there that you could see. Oh, wow. You can even see what's instead of his camera right now. Hopefully when Marvin comes back, we're going to be able to tune into the game already. Picks and bans are what intrigues me a lot, and then I believe that we're gonna get to see an interesting game because In Digital Paradox's games, I was always ranting about how I don't feel the tempo, how I don't see how the game progresses, how they read what they have to do next, how they don't have much planned out. And in Instinct's match against Digital Paradox, you already could see that it was not the case. They always had something else to do. They always were rotating around the map to get the best plan going, and pushed up the turret, took a dragon, pushed up the turret, took a Rift Herald, pushed up another turret, and just like that, they were taking the map out layer by layer. And then eSuba on the other side, they're even better, it seems, at least for now. So they have to put up even a better momentum, and that makes me think that just the game is going to be extremely interesting. It's going to be high paced, and mistakes will be punished.
And there I am back again, just yeah, I hope early enough because nothing has happened as I see. No picks, no bans, but we are just seconds away from that, I imagine.
The picks and bans should just be around the corner right now, so yeah, we'll be watching it in just a second, because if I'm not mistaken, the picks and bans are already starting, and yeah, there we go. eSuba versus Instinct bans. Let's see if I've read through eSuba, if I've read through the Czech team, or if I actually was completely wrong.
Yeah, what did you predict? You predict Axaya, Lulu, and what was the last?
The last one was LeBlanc.
LeBlanc ban. Yeah, okay. So we see Axaya ban here coming down. So you're still right on that.
Yep, just wondering what Instinct is going to go for, because they have a wide variety of bans they want to get right here. They cannot ban everything, and anything could actually punish them if eSuba gets it. So I imagine they're intensely talking to each other right now, trying to figure out what's best. And it's going to be a Lee Sin ban first, so pretty standard to what we've seen today. It's a very common ban.
Yeah, definitely. You at least have to try. If you cannot really make eSuba feel uncomfortable, but you can try to ban the stuff that you don't want to play against. And I think that's what Instinct should try to do here. And we see an Ivern ban coming in here from eSuba.
So, all right, that's something different from what I expected. But oh yeah, that's actually aimed at the jungler. Maybe considering what was happening in the previous game, but Ivern also can be a really, really annoying jungler. Though, as I mentioned right there, when Shift was playing the Syndra, it's quite easy to shut down the Daisy with the Syndra. Maybe they're not planning to go for a Syndra, and they just want to get rid of that Ivern. And LeBlanc is the last ban, so they did not decide to ban Lulu this time, okay.
Yeah, so they maybe do not care about that support that much because they say, okay, if it's a Lulu or a Zyra or maybe even a Thresh, that doesn't matter. But Instinct instead, they go for the Lulu ban.
All right, so it still has to be bans. It won't be there in the play. And yeah, if that Lulu didn't get banned, I was thinking that maybe Instinct will go for that Varus Lulu again. But since they banned it themselves, wondering what their bottom lane is gonna be. Lucian is though open. Is it gonna be a Lucian middle again with some mid lane pick going bottom? I don't want to see that anymore, please.
Yeah, first of all, the Caitlyn coming down here for eSuba. And yeah, Instinct, I am pretty sure that they will get their stuff together. I don't think that they will try something surprising here. They will mainly focus on just getting a solid team together, just play it the best way that they can, and then try to win like that in an open fight and not going through some kind of a cheesy backdoor play or maybe doing something special with the composition. I don't really think that they will do this again.
All right, so Karma's picked for Instinct, and Carmelution is definitely a very strong combo on the bottom lane, though it's just the question that we all have. Will they let go of that Lucian from the middle lane and actually put it in the lane it's theoretically supposed to be in? Kha'Zix is the other pick. Of course, the jungle was hit a little bit right here with the Lee Sin, Zac, and Ivern ban, but Kha'Zix surely a viable one, and I still believe that eSuba will have something they'll be comfortable with. So they're definitely not running out of possibilities with Elise and Graves still being in there. Maybe even the Gragas that was picked by Digital Paradox just a while ago. Because, hey, it wasn't a bad pick. It worked out quite fine. Nami.
Yeah, we see Syndra and Nami, yeah, coming down here for eSuba. I really like to see her waves, so maybe something special being planned here by eSuba.
Yeah, who knows? Might be, but the time when Nami worked best was actually when Jin was the most dangerous. Usually you would get that wave thrown out alongside with Jin's curtain call, so that you interrupted the Jin's ultimate instantly. That's where Nami shined, and when you had good time and good aim, you could really be annoying and completely destroy the enemy AD carry. Right here, we're not going to get to see a Jin, I don't think so. And I just want to see what kind of an idea eSuba has for this particular champion, because for now it's not aimed at anybody in Instinct. Maybe they'll get something more to add to that. For now, it's going to be playing with Caitlyn. And that already is quite nice because Caitlyn's got such a huge range that being boosted with Tidecaller's Blessing is going to be really annoying to anybody on Instinct. You've got Kha'Zix, that's melee. You've got Galio, that's melee. That's going to be a lot of slows. Could be definitely annoying. Just the question is who's going to be showing up on the bot lane. If it's something with short range, we can already expect eSuba's bot lane to completely dominate.
Yeah, definitely. So that's something they have to be careful about. And once again, 4th and 5th ban, they just roll through here.
Yeah,
do we expect Instinct to go once more for that Varus that worked in the last game? Can you see that, or do you think they'll go for something else?
Yeah, there surely is a possibility to pick it up alongside with Karma. Definitely also meshes quite well, and I very much liked the chains of corruptions that he tossed out. So he's definitely on point with that. But if he's also on point with the chains of corruptions, maybe something like Ash, so that they get this really solid engage through the entire map, even because the Ashes this far in the tournament were quite impressive. I don't think we've seen a very weak one. I don't think we had like these situations where we said, "Oh my goodness, all these arrows are missing." No, the arrows were quite on point, and there we go.
Yeah.
There's Ash.
Nice call there. Definitely a good one, and I agree to that because we have seen good Ashes so far. And on the other side, also the next pick coming in.
Gangplank. Okay, that's going to be the top lane, and it's going to go up against the Galio. The Galio that I'm not too fond of in this tournament, you already know about it. And Gangplank last time, I remember he was picked yesterday in that very weird composition, alongside with Ivern and Talia in the mid lane. That did not really do a lot, but as I mentioned, I was not sure if the Gangplank can even get to the late game right there. Here, I'm positive that eSuba can survive for sure into the late game, alongside with the Syndra and Lees they have. They might even start to get going in the early, so I feel like it's kind of very evenly spread, and they're going to do fine in all of the phases of the game. Just this Gangplank at the top has to not get devoured. And Instinct's top laner against the Digital Paradox proved that he can crush the enemy if he needs to. So I'm looking forward to the fight in the top lane.
Yeah, definitely. And also we have a Kassadin pick, so not the Lucian that you did definitely not want to see in the mid lane. So let's see. We haven't seen a Kassa today been played by Instinct, so we do not know if that's really going to work out for them. But I assume they will just pick something that they feel comfy on.
Okay, so hopping into the Summoner's Rift, this time without any pauses. That's also really nice to see. The teams took their time to be prepared for this matchup, and they're not delaying it any further. So, there we are. Instinct once again going up against eSuba. Will they this time be able to make it any better, or will they once again fall and give another Czech team a spot in the in the finals? The grand finals, they will still have to fight for it in the best of 3 in Hamburg, but well, with their form this far, I'm quite sure they can fight for the grand finals even. So no aggressive entries. It's gonna be an invadeless beginning of this last game of the day. And as I mentioned, it should be action-packed right here. We should be seeing a ton of action. So maybe the beginning is just gonna be the quiet before the storm actually hits. Legion making sure that nobody is getting into his lane. And Legion, be that real Galio that I was looking forward to for so long in this tournament. Now, beginning, at least just starting with a blue buff. Same goes for Kha'Zix, the mirror matchup in here. And, well, right off the bat, it's going to be a Mantra Inner Flame tossed straight at Effort. Effort, this far playing many different champions, actually. He's been playing Karma, Tamkinch, and Nami, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, going for the variety. And I'm not too sure about the Nami. So, everything else I've been pretty happy with. This time, the Nami is going to be put to test. I don't know if it actually still fits well enough. There's been a time where Nami's been like a top tier support alongside with Janna, but we don't see these anymore. As I mentioned yesterday, it all goes more into the aggression, more into the overall utility, helping out the entirety of the team. Like Karma especially. Just boosting up your entire team's speed, just giving out all the shields, healing yourself up even, and being that secondary AP carry, which Nami cannot exactly be. Though if somebody played One for All, they definitely know how dangerous Nami can be when she builds full AP or full AD even. Oh, anyway, the beginning with some gank even in the bottom lane out there, but the junglers is just popping up. They're not really doing anything aggressive, and interestingly enough, Stephanie Glitch deciding to go straight into the red jungle. He looks for something out there, steals a little bit, but does not leave any vision, interestingly enough. And Elise is actually going to do the same, so this far, no successful counter jungling, I would say. But Galio is starting to rack up a little bit of an advantage out there in the top, and compared to the previous Galio that we'd seen just a second ago, it's a relief to see. At least that's what I think.
And now we see the first little punches exchanged here on the bot lane. But so far nothing too scary for both of the teams. But in the mid lane we see the first blood, and it's a Kassadin that falls.
So eSuba already gaining a little bit of an advantage, and also in the farm, that Syndra is doing quite fine. So Humanoid opening it up pretty nicely, and I was not trusting the Lucian too much, so I wanted to see some real AP carry in the middle out there from Golem. But the beginning is not promising at all. But he's playing with a teleport. Luckily enough, he's going to be able to get back into the lane quickly enough. And maybe that will even out the discrepancy in farm. So at least, yeah, that one kill did go through. But it doesn't have to be the end of the world.
Yeah, definitely not, but it might show some kind of weak spot that Instinct is having to deal with here, because the Lucian play was pretty good, but now he had to switch to another champion that doesn't really seem to get that going for him.
All right, now getting close to the 6th minute mark, and we will soon be getting some ultimates out there on the map with the first kill for Humanoid. If he gets the advantage a little bit quicker on the middle lane, he now hits level 6, but yeah, Golem is pretty good in terms of health. Other than that, we don't see much activity around the map, but there's going to be ganks in the middle lane, and Galio's also going down, so that could be Instinct actually getting the advantage. The upper hand right here, Stephanie College does not manage to get out of there. The Neurotoxin and an auto attack additionally is enough. JK finally not playing Elise in, but shows us that with the Elise, he's still able to have the impact on the game. And a good stun additionally from Humanoid right there, not allowing the Castellan to get any kind of close. And man, that's going to be a little bit of a snowball out here. Legion receiving bits of damage here and there. Even the Gangplank that I said will have to wait a little bit to ramp up is already doing not so bad. Although he's still losing in farm, that's the fact. And Legion, even if he's getting poked, he's got all these shields, of course. As Galio, he's quite tough, naturally. So, Syndra and Elise this far with the kills. And that also gives Syndra an assist additionally. So everybody gets a piece of something, but of course, once again, the guy that gets the most is Humanoid. Now, not sure if it's just me that gets this stuttery kind of visual. Yeah, that's you guys too. So
I have it too.
Apparently, there are some little technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's Skype, always a pain in the ass. But maybe it's an issue for everybody, because we also have to pause the game right now.
Yeah, but I feel like it might have been just one of the spectators, because it stopped for a second before the pause. But I don't know, not necessarily sure. Anyway, hopefully that gets fixed, and hopefully the game is still going to be underway. It's 2-0 right now. We're at a very important point in the game. 1,000 gold difference is not so much, but soon the first turrets will have to start falling. Possibly the first dragon is going to be an objective, as that's a mountain drake, so it's really important. In the top lane, Galio's leading in farm, so there's a possibility that Yaki will decide to just shut him down completely. So that this Gangplank will also get going, because they already have a very well doing Humanoid in the middle.
Yeah, definitely. So far, it all looks like eSuba is really gonna grab that victory here in Group B. And yeah, and I just hear that one of the players just disconnected from the game, so we are looking to fix that as soon as possible to get those finals ready for you once more. But so far, maybe if we take a look at what happened so far, we've seen 2 kills. You said the turrets are probably gonna fall soon. What else have you seen in those early stages of the game that might lead us to the outcome of it all?
Overall, Humanoid's gaining a little bit of an advantage, and of course the control of the map. Even though Galio started coming down from the top lane, even though there was a gank already coming in from the jungler of the red team, they still got beaten down by just 2. was Humanoid alongside with Yaki, and Yaki, he was really impressive on the Lee Sin, but maybe I thought that it's just because the character is like that. Because with Lee Sin, you've got to make flashy plays. If you're good, you're always going to be on the highlights. But he shows that he's overall a good jungler, also executed quite nice plays with just Elite. And Humanoid, he's a Syndra. That Syndra is already starting to get fed. He was dominating a little bit in the CS, had 10 more in the very early stages of the game against the Kassadin. Kassadin was able to even everything out because he had a teleport as his summoner spell. But that just gives you another idea that might be even easier for Syndra shortly, because she's got a more uh, direct of a summoner spell, I would say. So either it's exhaust or ignite or barrier or cleanse, you're able to use it like on the spot to help you in the fight. While teleport, it is more of a utility spell, and if that Kassadin does not ramp up, that teleport is going to be completely useless because he's not going to be able to surprise anybody with his teleport. He's not going to be helpful in the team fight and will only be another tool to come back to the lane to die more frequently.
Yeah, we are jumping right back into the game.
And somewhere off the screen, we actually had a death of Stefan Nikolic, and right now the blue buff is being stolen, so Yaki is just giving his best right here and already getting really annoying. And I wanted to point out how behind he is in terms of creeps in the jungle. And that's nearly a 20 difference. That's nearly twice as much for Stefan Nikolic. But we did not get to see the Kazakhs on the lanes frequently. He did not have any successful gank. He's sitting on 2 deaths. So on one gank he died, on the other chance he was just sitting in his jungle and he got caught out right now. So yeah, the Kazakhs is completely getting shot down, and all the hope is in the form of Legion, who always has been doing fine in the top lane no matter what, and the bottom lane. So as I said, we're looking forward to some good Ash arrows. Not sure if they can pull it off, but they have to if they want to do something here. eSuba for now, 3-0. As I said, the turrets will start to fall shortly, and indeed we've got the first turret destroyed by them in the bottom lane, and them all being in the bottom lane might bring them closer to taking that Drake that they're looking for. Even underneath the turrets, the top laner of eSuba is struggling a little bit on this gangplank, so he's really got to somehow survive till that last point, where he finally starts ramping up. But before that, wondering if Legion is not going to be strong enough already to just compete or even completely extinguish the gangplank. Could definitely be a thing. Well, a lot of pings all over the map right here, and you can clearly see how focused the players are on executing everything perfectly. Just put out the vision, clear the enemy's vision, go into the enemy jungle, just try to counter jungle a little bit, because you could earlier see that Stefan Nikolic did go into the upper jungle of eSuba, and in the meantime Yaki went into the lower jungle of Instinct. So things like that will be happening. Constant movement, constant focus of making something happen on the map. Making something happen, rather. And yeah, most importantly, that Drake is a mountain Drake. Will be really important, but there's a red ward right there, and Kaz is already running this way. Stefan Nikolic will want to interrupt Yaki. Now, is that a possibility? Because Humanoid is going to be zoning the enemy out, and I'm quite sure that they're afraid of that Syndra very much. And indeed, yeah, Kazakhs just let go, and it's way too important of a dragon to do that so easily. No contest. With Galio showing up at the bottom lane too, with Galio, the guy that I'm saying should be one of the pillars for Instinct if they are to do something, and he doesn't act, that's bad news, bad news. And also 1 assist for Sakutka, as I did not see he tossed out his ultimate. when the frag on Stefan Nikolic happened earlier on around the blue buff. That was already a little bit of time ago, but yeah, you always have to point it out. That assist is gonna just leave him standing. 30 CS difference, and that assist is always gonna be that useful bit of gold, so that he still stays relevant. And Stefan Nikolic actually disconnects right now, and it's not that he did not contest the Drake because he disconnected, because he went back to take the walls and rotated into the upper jungle. Just take a look at where he is right now. In the upper blue jungle, fighting it out a little bit with Elise, and he's being pinged by his teammates probably with the question marks because he's disconnected and he's not doing anything. So yeah, that's unlucky. And oh, it gets on pause pretty quickly, actually. Was about to get into the builds of the players, as we have builds rather Cutlass on Ash, on the other hand, alongside with a Cole, of course. On the other hand, we've got a BF sword with finished boots already on Caitlyn, and then an additional dagger just like on Ash. And talking about that Ash, she doesn't even have the basic boots, the boots of speed. So could be a little bit of a problem. 20 CS disparity, no assist for Caitlyn, but a turret destroyed, so that definitely is something important. And eSuba are taking care of the Rift Herald. If the dragon was given away for free, I'm thinking that maybe Instinct will also not want to fight for that. That's a cocoon! And that's going to be a Galio ultimate to save the day. But the wave is still pretty annoying. And now Syndra is not going to catch him. That's going to be a pretty alive Kha'Zix, I wanted to say, but somehow he decided to walk straight into the Syndra. That was a very stupid idea, and she's still going to stay alive because Nami just jumps in with the ebb and flow, and Legion finishes off Yaki. So as I said, the Galio will be really important. Caitlyn with a huge range with the Tide Caller's Blessing, but no kill. Close but no cigar, and once again, the Piltover Peacemaker is not going to reach its target, so somehow Instinct managed to get out of here with one single death for one single kill. Nicely done. It's not bad at all. They interrupted the Rift Herald. They finally showed that they're capable of doing something, and that's Galio getting a kill additionally. I was talking about how Gangplank is getting these assists to keep himself relevant, but with Galio at the same time starting to get kills, it's still at the same level as if without these kills, without these assists, and with the Gangplank just being completely out-farmed. So yeah, all that farm difference that I'm talking about in the top lane, it's actually completely equalized by the middle, by the bottom lane, where Neon and Humanoid are doing quite fine. So still, Instincts have something to look forward to, but that's not going to win them the game, definitely. If that Galio ramps up a lot, then maybe they will figure something out. But right now with 0-3-0 and Stefan Nikolic, they're going to lack a jungler. And as I said, on that previous team fight, it was just stupid from him, because he was already out and alive in that team fight, but he decided to just die to Syndra for some reason. The blue team gathers up around the middle, and I'm quite sure that they will want to make an attempt at the Rift Herald once again in the nearest future. At least they're going to want to get it before the Baron spawns, of course, so before it despawns. After all, though, the beginning was quite expected, but the top lane was still one-sided in favor of Instinct. So eSuba were doing quite fine, but there was this glimmer of hope in the form of Galio in the top. But now, after this team fight, once again, Instinct are proving that they're still alive in a battle, but the Rift Herald, alright. It did not last one more minute, actually. And that's actually quicker than I expected. Now, it's going to be a death on the side of Efforts. A little bit unexpected once again, just as the untimely death of the Rift Herald, but I guess it's fine, because with the Heralds, they're still gonna retain the push power and they don't have to care about their dead support, they can still push through. And especially with the outer turret in the middle still staying alive for a little bit longer. So yeah, Neon is gonna take care of that alongside with Rift Herald. Hits it with a head, turret is already gone. 4-2 that is in favor of eSuba in terms of the kills, but the kills will not matter so much. Though actually, it might get Kazakhs back into the game a little bit. That's something, once again, just something to look forward to. The Galio getting that 1 kill in the previous team fight, the Kazakhs finally starting to feel a little bit useful, because it's got to be reassuring to the player also. When you're dying 3 times as a Kazakh, as an assassin, you cannot find yourself in the team fights. It's got to be slightly demotivating. Your morale is really going down. But with that kill, it's gonna be nice. He's still 30 CS ahead as a jungler. So come on, it's not like he's behind in gold a lot. So he's still good. He's still fighting. Now, what is going to be a little bit tough is the Kassadin, because he lost a 1v1 in the middle against Syndra. He is behind in the CS, and he's not really going to change it. He's got the teleport, but it's going to be hard to surprise eSuba with him controlling the entirety of the map. So, for me, at the moment, the only person that's not good doing fine in Instinct is the Kassadin. All the rest is cool. All the rest is okay, but okay is not enough to beat eSuba. Another dragon going their way in the meantime. That's a Cloud Drake. In 2 minutes, the Baron's going to spawn. And 4 more minutes after that, another dragon is going to show up. I would love to see the dragon pit to know what kind of dragon it is. Because if more Mountain Drakes stack up for eSuba, this could be a really quick game. Some assistance pings around the upper river, interestingly enough. Kassadin in the top lane out there fighting it out against Gangplank, and he can feel a little bit stronger, as Gangplank was getting devoured by Legion in the top lane. So why not? But he can be surprised by the Nami and Caitlyn walking straight at him soon enough.
And they're all making their way to the top lane right now. But what are they looking to achieve here? They're going for that turret. And there will be nobody able to stop them. But a nice arrow coming in.
The turret's still not focusing the Syndra, so she's not losing the HP. But look at the damage output. Neon is dead. Humanoid's going down. Yeki also falls. And these are all the people that Galio hit with his ultimate. And I was talking about a good Galio ultimate. There you've got one. Nicholas Empire to finish off the last man Sakudik, who's gonna die in this team fight, so the only man that survives his effort. That's a good turnaround. Instinct actually are alive in this game. As I said, only Kassadin's not doing fine. All the rest can do anything they want. They can still turn it all around. That's what they do. Kassadin has died, unfortunately enough, in this team fight, so he gets the least out of it, but still he's gonna be happy with the team.
Yeah, and he did a great job, because he secured a double kill for himself in that team fight and actually did a good job in that.
Yep, and the turret straight after that. This far, eSuba have not really been so strong on the push. They've not been getting so many turrets that it overwhelms Instinct. No, not at all. It's still everything in the range of completely turning around. The problem is going to be the Rift Herald they got earlier, the 2 Drakes they got earlier, so that's something that Instinct will not be able to make back so quickly. But then they can definitely fight for the next Drake. I mean, as I said, their jungler is pretty strong, 40 CS advantage. It's still growing, can you believe it? But the blue buff is going to be stolen, so yeah, that's quite sad. Kassadin really needs it to get back into the game. And Kha'Zix also needs to secure his jungle a little bit better, because first of all, they banned never mind, it was eSuba who banned Ivern, so they didn't want to have their buff stolen. But now, with that, Instinct are
And
not
another
only not
pickup by
stealing the enemy's
Kassadin here.
mounts, but losing them. Yep. And there he goes
Chasing
for the
even
chase.
further now. And picking up that Nami as well. So another double kill here for Instinct. And they're really making their way back into that game. And we did not expect that at all. We thought eSuba, they would really go for it. And right now it's Instinct there contesting the barrier here. But is that a smart decision as eSuba there trying to play? But another here coming in for Kha'Zix.
Right, actually
finally
Humanoid.
slain.
Yeah, Humanoid is able to take out the Kassadin. He's going to be jumping in even further. Good kill on Tasteless. But I thought it was actually a good idea to fight for this Baron, especially as the first man to die in that team fight was Yeki. They killed off the jungler. They've done everything just the way it was supposed to be. But then, Humanoid, he's very strong of a mid laner. He's been showcasing it all day long, and once again proves it. When the game was starting to be turned around by Instinct, it is a double kill for Humanoid, a double kill for Neon now, and yeah, it all goes back to how it was supposed to be possibly, and now it's going to be eSuba to start the Baron. But the vision is available for Instinct. That's one thing they're doing quite fine. They're controlling the movements on the map. They know how to place the vision. Yaki's respawned, but the enemy team is already going there. Without Kha'Zix, it's going to be really hard to steal, but it's not impossible. Yaki takes it. So the Baron buff, 4 turrets compared to 1. Huge gold advantage. Well, maybe it's not a huge gold advantage just yet, but it's big enough for sure, I'd like to say. And yeah, the problems are starting for Instinct once again. I would love to see another team fight like they had a little bit earlier, but unfortunately that one chance is wasted. I don't see it happening again. I don't see eSuba making these mistakes again. Though it's quite funny how Instinct made that effort at turning it all around. They won a good team fight, but they lost it all so quickly. Way too quickly.
Yeah, it was that choice to go for that Baron that didn't really turn out great for them. Now they go for Dragon, hopefully just securing that safely. There's no vision available here for eSuba, so they just steal that away and make their way back in order to defend their turrets. The bot lane under siege here.
And yeah, I was wondering what kind of Drake it was, and it indeed was that Mountain Drake, so really horrible for Instinct. Enchanted Crystal Arrow hits, but is it good enough? Actually, there is Legion jumping in with a Galio, but he's not invincible. They're jumping in with the ultimate even. He just went into that team fight. That's a little bit of a mistake. What a flash from Tasteless. Luckily staying alive in there, and now the turret's going to be attacked and destroyed for sure. Now the other turret is really in danger. That's the Baron buffed team with a wave of minions buffed by the Baron, of course, and with 2 Mountain Drakes, and forcing away and away and away that support, who's already really low on health, has to fall back to the base. So Tasteless mercilessly focused on, and that's going to be the inhibitor taken. eSuba have what they went for, and they can easily just go back to the base. They can regroup and once again repeat that. Okay then, 415 on Humanoid, looking really strong. And unstoppable, and that's something that I'm really afraid of. And LeBlanc being banned very often today and yesterday also. But we once seen LeBlanc played by the MVP of that Group A, definitely. On Alzek's status, we had a mid laner that did not die even once in the entire group stage, so he's a monster. And right here, turns out that we've got another strong mid laner, Humanoid, once again from Czech Republic, so it seems like those Czechs have some real nice mid laners. And Tasteless is going to actually disconnect from the game. He did a nice job staying alive for the entirety of the previous team fight in the bottom lane. But at the end of the day, still gave up the inhibitors to the enemy team. But now he's out of the game. Luckily enough, it's now and not during the team fight, because it would have been a real bad thing. Now the Kassadin is kind of ramping up with a Rod of Ages ticking in. Soon enough, it's going to hit actually the last tick. He's got his own Hourglass alongside with it, the Mercury Treads. But on the other side, you can clearly see how much of an assassin Humanoid is trying to be. Luden's Echo, and Morel Nomicon. Some more penetration even, with the Sword Shoes, of course, and the Void Staff. So that just looks incredibly overwhelming. While for Golem, well, yeah, he got a double kill in one of the team fights that they won. He got another frag right after, but then he's gone back to being his former self. It's being toned down a little bit and shot off. Looking at Ashe, she's finally got the boots. Yeah, that's true, but still not really seeing that impact. That one arrow was extremely good, but other than that, the other was completely impactless. On the bottom lane fight just a second ago, didn't really do much, and we're waiting to see yet another.
Yeah, and I've just heard it in the background, so a player has reconnected, at least if I'm not mistaken in that. So we're just seconds away from joining again.
That should be true. We should be getting back into the game real shortly. And yeah, just still 0-1-9. That's the scoreline of Tasteless, the support of Instinct. So he's very good at avoiding death. He's got 9 assists. He's contributing to the game. He's doing his best. But of course, you gotta withstand the amounts of damage that Neon and Humanoid pack. And that's understandable when the enemy team has 8,000 gold more than you. So Instinct actually, yeah, they got a good team fight. They seemingly evened it out a little bit, but as you can see, the gold discrepancy is just too big. Top inhibitor is now focused down. And that's going to be an easy target to take with Neon's range, definitely.
We also see a little push here in the mid turret. But all alone, he has to be careful not to be caught. But doesn't really look like he's able to get away until finally somebody can come in to save him. In this case, it was his own jungler.
Well, still they take that in the top. So now the team fight commences, and actually the red team is starting it off quite nicely. Double kill already for the Kazakhs. The Kazakhs that I lacked a little bit in the very beginning of this game. Golem is also able to finish off Sekudek from the top lane, and yeah, they come out on top of the frags. That's 13-11, but the bottom lane is being sieged by the super minions. The top lane's inhibitor got destroyed. 3 deaths right now. 4 deaths even, okay. So it's gonna be just 20, 30, 40 seconds of waiting maybe for eSuba until they once again regroup and start attacking. And in the meantime, 1 minute from now, the Baron will be coming back up, and this time it could be the final push. So I believe that the next push is going to be the last one. eSuba will be closing out the game right here. Even though Instinct won that team fight, I don't see any hopes for them.
Yeah, unfortunately, if Baron was up right now, they could have maybe went for it and maybe defended their base easily with that Baron buff. But just like that, I'd agree to you that probably eSuba they're gonna close it out now.
Okay, then the 30th minute is closing in. So, actually, I don't think we got to see any match that lasted like 15 minutes that was completely evened out this far. Was either very one-sided or it was close in the early game but then got one-sided. So, yeah, that's what we see right here in the groups this far. Cast it in with a little bit of aggression. There's going to be a Galio jumping in and a kill on that. Cast it in real quickly. Takunic manages to get away from there. That Gangplank with very low HP. In the meantime, Tasteless dies for the third time already in the game. And I was actually talking about how good his KDA was. Legion is quite tanky. Ick is going to get away with the repellent towards one of the minions. And the triple kill for Neon closes out this fight. The third, inhibitor turret is destroyed, but the inhibitor is not going to be. They don't care about it. They come in straight under the Nexus towers and they close the game out. Finally, they're going to finish it at 30 minutes mark, actually. So, pretty beautiful of a minute to close this game out right here. And it was so close in kills. Just take a look at that. 16-14. But what does it matter? The kills. Not at all. 10,000 gold.